Welcome to Procurement Says No, sort of episode 24. Sort of. I say that because it's a sort of episode, this one. It's going to be a slightly shorter version, but we've got lots of exciting news, haven't we, Ed?
We have. An assortment of interesting topics.
An assortment of news, starting off with the fact that we are heading off to ProcureCon West very, very soon. The Indirect show, courtesy of Frank and Michael, who came on a couple of weeks ago, and they were on episode 23, which you can also still hear. We'll be flying off on Saturday. What are you taking, Ed?
Ooh, I'm going to take my swimming trunks, a couple of pairs of sunglasses, and £1,000 in cash to waste. No, I'm going to go smart casual. I'm going to take a blazer. I'm going to take a whole bunch of Procurement Says No t-shirts, merch. We're going to have a little merch stand, and we're going to have sweets, English sweets.
I get with Swizzles.
Swizzles, which are in Derbyshire, so the heart of England.
Exactly. God bless B&M. That's what I say. Thank you to Swizzles.
Yeah, I'm going to take some earbuds, so I don't have to listen to you talking to me.
Excellent.
I'll drink myself into oblivion on the flight.
Should be great. We'll see you there. All of you types who are going to Las Vegas. How exciting. I wasn't going to go, but I am now.
Dead excited.
And I'm taking just cash, as you say. I'm taking cash, and then I'm going to put it all on 21 black.
Rich has airplane cream to slather over himself so that he doesn't go all prune-like on the journey over there.
Yeah, because you do dry out, don't you? You do dry out at high altitude, I find.
So anyway, looking forward to flying with Virgin to Vegas.
Virgin to Vegas, yes, should be good. And just so we're supposed to do this at the beginning of every episode. And of course, we are on Facebook, we are on X, formerly known as Twitter, or the other way around, and all of the usual pod places. So there you go. As Ed mentioned earlier, our other piece of news, of course, is we have got merch. We've got our first range of T-shirts, which are available now, which are lovely. They say Procurement Says No, emblazoned in a beautiful pink. And then we have a number of phrases. The two that we've got out at the moment in the first batch are...
Without prejudice on one and subject to contract
Ooh.
on the other. So if you fancy a T-shirt, just contact us through LinkedIn. Probably the easiest way, though we have a eBay page. So if you go to eBay...
Yeah.
And do a search on Procurement Says No, you'll find our T-shirt.
And you can probably get us through, you can probably contact us through X or Facebook or all of those things. Or Spreaker, I think you can contact. You can contact us through the podcast places. So let us know if you'd like a T-shirt, and let us know if you want some other phrases, because we have all of our other phrases, such as cheapest crisps and finest haircuts and all those sorts of things.
I like comfort in conflict.
Oh, comfort in conflict.
So, and they're selling well, Rich. They're selling well. They've even shipped one over to Texas.
So who would have thunk it 2 years ago when we started doing this nonsense? 2 years later, we'd be flying out to Vegas selling merch. I mean, what's going on? What is going on with the world? Anyway, that's all good.
I'm not sure I believe it myself. So we believe it. We will be in Vegas, and we will be podcasting from the conference.
We will. And we're meeting up, hopefully, I think we're meeting with Jagger, but I'm not sure.
Yep.
We're meeting with TikTok. We're meeting Zip. Finally, we're going to get to see the Zip guys. And we are seeing Tonkian as well, amongst others. So there's a few people who've already signed up to have a little chat with us when we're there.
And I think also Amazon Business and also Zycus.
Oh, yes. And just whilst we're talking about T-shirts and the phenomenal success of Procurement Says No, we just want to mention to Simon Frost, who is a sustainable procurement bloke. He's put a post on linked up called Procurement Says No. So, Simon, we'd like to get in touch with you and talk about Procurement Says No. Perhaps you should come on the podcast and we can talk to you about trademarking.
Yes, because we have copyrighted it.
But we'd love to have you on the podcast talking about procurement, because you're a procurement adventurer, it says on your website, which is fab. Come on, Simon, come on the show.
Grand. And then just a little bit of information. Ben Farrell, we've mentioned before, CIPS CEO. He's currently travelling, but his promise to us is that he'll appear on a show that we'll record late in March.
Right.
Very excited about that, because I think we have a bit negative about SIPs, but perhaps rightly so. Ben is the new broom.
Ben's going to sort it out, and perhaps we could get Ben to read the news. because SIPs never have any news. So let's get Ben to read the news. That would be fab. And one last thing from me, and then the rest of the show is all over to Ed because he's got all the content this time. The last thing from me is just to say that, as regular listeners know, we get a lot of questions from our fans around the world, and we've now edited all our questions and answers into a series of mini podcasts called Ask Rich and Ed from Procurement Says No. So if you look up Procurement Says No, Ask Rich and Ed on your podcast places, you will find Ask Rich and Ed. There's just 2 episodes out at the moment, but we'll be putting another one out probably next week. We've got a load of them ready to go. So as the 2 Lukes said to us, it's always good to have a bank. And we have a bank of Ask Rich and Eds, and we will be releasing them week by week for your delight and delectation. Oh, actually, we also need to point out that Alex Jennings has been beautifully modelling his Procurement Says No t-shirt on Alchemy. I don't know if he's actually going to post it on the Alchemy site, but he really ought to, because it's quite scary.
No, it is on the Alchemy site. He's posted it.
So you see what's happened, listeners. Procurement Says No used to be all full of content about procurement. Now we just waffle on like we're some sort of afternoon Radio 2 DJs talking nonsense about nothing.
Pot pickers.
Anyway, right. Some content. So you've done a survey. We have a survey.
Yeah, so this is an early data from the Cheetah Research Institute. So they've just completed a winter 24-25 survey. Interesting thing was, we had a bit of a discussion with them, Rich. Asked them to think about AI, the implementation or application of AI, and the exposure that more junior buyers have had to it. Okay, so to find out from the coal face what's really going on, because it's easy to hear the CPO or equivalent going, oh, yes, we're doing this and we're doing that. But to what extent has that seeped down to the coalface?
Ooh.
They've completed the study of 751 buyers, or they researched with 751 buyers.
751, but that's a big sample size.
Power of LinkedIn and so forth, really, I think, in terms of getting to people. And obviously they've got their own database and such like. But they've gone across a range of industries and businesses across the UK, US, Europe, and Australia predominantly. And this is interesting, really, because this is sort of on the coalface. To what extent are you seeing AI? 15% of those respondents said that they were using some form of AI, but therefore 85% weren't, which is sort of somewhat at odds with what we hear. And then 47% have heard of AI initiatives in their business, but only 21% have heard of AI initiatives linked to procurement that are on their way.
Okay, right, yeah, which is something we've said, isn't it, that gets to the back of the queue. Procurement will be at the back of the queue for...
Yeah, the marketing or the sales engine or the operational side of the business seems to get, priority rather than the procurement function. 24%, and only 24%, understand how AI could help their role. And then this is interesting. So Cheetah asked how people felt about AI. Is it a threat, etc., or is it an opportunity? 13% see, and only 13% see AI as a threat to their role. 25% yet to make their mind up, but the majority see it as an opportunity, which is a real positive sign in terms of embracing AI in the business. And then we asked also how people felt about the procurement system they had. Only 19% had a positive view of their procurement system and its capability. 18% think the system is okay, and a whopping 63% think their procurement system very poor. Just as a summary there, the main issues that people suggested with their procurement system was 37% felt it was highly bureaucratic. So that's its emulating control process, I guess, lots of lines of authority, all that sort of stuff, approvals. 56% said it wasn't user-friendly, suggesting legacy systems. 75% complained that the procurement system wasn't connected to other systems.
Yeah.
So it was a sort of island standing on its own. 89% said it didn't assist with decision making.
No, there is no decision making software that I've seen used in procurement.
No, I think it's out there, but I don't think it's actively used, whether it's from the bigger players like SAP or even the likes of Jagger and Zycus, who we mentioned earlier. 64% that the procurement system was predominantly used tactically, like order placing. So the full report is to come out. That's just an early cut. It sort of belies a lot of the strong PR about the adoption of AI.
If AI was to summarise that in 2 sentences, what would it be?
It's not happening out there yet. I think there's a lot of hype, but the reality is for the procurement bod on the ground, they're not seeing it. Not to say we won't see it in the coming few years, but it's not as well implemented or adopted as suggested.
It will creep up on us, won't it?
So let's go to a positive view.
Come on.
I use Microsoft and I use Google and I use Gmail. Okay. And what I've noticed of late is a huge acceleration in AI offerings. So Gmail have been offering me for a little while AI upgrades to support emailing. The AI app for Gmail will do, I'm sure it does lots more sophisticated stuff than this, but it will summarize an email. And it also has been recently sending me reminders for emails. But anyway, so they've all been pushing this and it seemed to have a price. And what I've noticed is a bit of a shift of late, and all these solutions are free. So I went on in preparation for our podcast, Rich, last night. I was just doing a little bit of research, just sort of news stuff. I have something called Microsoft Copilot, and I typed in recent developments in procurement. What did Microsoft do? It said, would you like me to write something on that for you? And in about 1 second, it wrote 4 pages on developments in procurement.
It wrote the script for this episode.
I won't read it out.
No, don't. And I imagine the content is pretty good. And if you were to rehash it, you would probably have 70% of the content there. And you might want to tailor it to your own kind of voice.
So it wrote 4 pages in 1 second. It had all the parts that you'd expect to see. There were a couple of errors, and it was a bit generalised. But I did like the intro because it said procurement is an essential function for organisations. Hey, we're all important. And then it talked about global supply chain disruptions and what they were, geopolitical tensions. It did have a bit of sort of stuff about COVID. And I thought, well, that's not topical, but you'd delete that, wouldn't you, out of your piece? It talked about technological advancements, AI, Internet of Things, talked about economics, sustainability, ethical sourcing, and the future of procurement.
Yeah, well, it's all good. It's all there.
Yeah, it was really spot on, really. I thought, it was a bit generalised, but given it took a second, imagine if I'd put a title that was a little bit crisper, I would have got a lot more. And I think this is the bit, listeners, that is definitely happening. This whole assistant piece is definitely there.
That metaphor of an assistant, it's a new assistant who's not necessarily up to speed, but is really good at cutting and pasting at the moment. So you might want to take a look at what your assistant has written you and just double check it and just make sure, as you said earlier, it's in your voice. It hasn't got errors in it. It's up to date. So don't, ladies and gentlemen, just take your AI published stuff and stick it into your RFP or whatever. Please make sure you check it first, because it will have stuff that in it that is not relevant, or is contradictory, or is out of date, or is just a bit wonky. Coolio.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. And then I just wanted to pick up on Daniel Barnes. He basically saying the same thing. He's put some stuff out saying agents will change procurement forever. Work will never be the same again. Seriously. And I think that's the point that I'm saying, is that an agent isn't necessarily a chatbot that's going to talk to you or talk to your stakeholder. It's more assistant that will write material for you. Maybe the next step is it will write the RFP or the RFQ for you, and you'll give it some of the dynamics that are needed. It's a service. It needs to look like this, and it will do 80% of the work.
Yeah.
And then you will roll from there, I think. And that's what Daniel's pushing. So he's talking about some systems I'm not aware of. One called Operator and one called Deep Research, and also something called Grok, which he's playing around with. Well, it's helping him, I guess, to write content, but also it's going to help you in a line role, whatever you might do.
And I guess it's important that you know where your sources are information from, because this is one of the things I saw something on, I think it was on YouTube. It was a data analytics site, believe it or not. Why was I watching that, you're saying? And it was talking about, if you just look for data or you ask AI to tell you what happened on such and such a date, it generates that information from all sorts of sources, some of which may well be the media rather than actual pure data sources. So you have to be careful what its sources are, because it might just be bringing in all sorts of spurious opinion rather than data. That was specifically about data. So I guess the same is true for any kind of AI. Just double check it.
But the interesting thing that Daniel mentions in his article, and one of the things that he sort of says, I think in a light-hearted way, is that people like him might not have a job anymore, because the tech out there, AI tech, can write all this stuff for you. And if you want to know what's going on in the market for, I don't know, ferrous metals or whatever, you could just ask it the system and it will do the research for you. And the crisper your question, the sharper the response.
Yeah, I guess that's back to that point about where you're getting the data from again, isn't it? Maybe ask it what its sources are going to be, or point it to specific sources. Might be a way to do it.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe for our listeners, thinking about the assistant world might be the early frontier. The deeper stuff in terms of, analysis of figures and numbers and all that sort of stuff might be harder than you think to get it exactly right. But certainly saying what's happening in the marketplace for X at the moment, you'll probably find your Microsoft Copilot can do that. I found it quite interesting, and I think the system writing stuff for me. I have been using ChatGPT a bit anyway for the last 12 months. So I think the people who are going to do well are the people who are really good at putting questions together.
We love a structured question.
Structured questions.
Any more excitement, Ed?
Yeah, lots of excitement. So I think last year we were talking about the second half of the year. It was really quiet and there wasn't a lot being said by different vendors. It was there just wasn't much for us to report, was there? Anyway, there's been a massive uptick, I think, in webinars. So I've seen SAP Sapphire doing lots of exciting, webinars about their product. I understand that SAP have completely replatformed their product. Tonkean with Bero and Co are pushing out quite a large number of webinars. One called, which I thought was quite funny, really, introducing market intelligence infused orchestration for procurement, how it works and how to get it started.
Sign me up for that one.
I could barely say that. Zip have been doing loads. Zycus have just had a global conference. So it does seem like the technology players have really stepped up. I would say if you want to know what's going on, sign up for these webinars. They're free.
Yeah, you will learn something.
Yeah, generally they fire them out with a report from Forrester or Barrow or somebody that is quite useful. And they're always recorded, so you can always watch them later if you fall asleep while you're listening to them.
A nice rest.
And then lastly, this always makes me laugh, right?
Caps.
My favourite. Caps. I love you, Caps. I love you. They've just pushed a bit of research out. So they do surveys, I think, of their members. The members are mainly massive conglomerates, multinationals. So supply chain leaders' priorities for the next 12 months.
Ooh.
So, Rich, they list 4 things. What's the number one in priority for supply chain leaders?
Ooh, let me think. Is it cost savings?
Bingo! You win!
Yes. Put it all on black.
Fluffy toy. Yes. So 38% of respondents said advancing cost savings management.
Boom.
Securing price reductions from suppliers. But then, interestingly, what was second?
Digitization of all your data.
Yes.
Yes. It's almost as if we rehearsed this.
Yes. We read the same stuff, listeners. We read the same stuff. So digitizing S2P, P2P. And then that was 23%, but that's closely followed by 21% of respondents saying advancing their approach to risk management. I imagine that's going to go up with potential tariffs and trade wars and all
everything else going on in the world at the moment. Yes,
I think there's going to be lots of companies already ahead of the game. I think buying ahead, that type of thing, thinking about how they maintain their cost base rather than seeing it go up because of the application of tariffs. And then the fourth one at 21% also. So we've had cost reduction at 38%, digitizing procurement 23%. Advancing risk management, 21%. And then 21% also said implementing generative AI into procurement SCM processes. It'll be an interesting year, I think.
Yeah, it's all happening. It's all kicking off.
Yeah, I think lots happening from a tech point of view. I think I'm still a bit cynical about people's ability from a funding perspective and from just an inclination perspective to actually start using this stuff and working out how to use it.
Well, I guess it's developing really quickly as well, isn't it? So your early adopters are probably going to get something which is actually quite good, but your second gen is going to be streets ahead, isn't it? But maybe by the middle of the year or the second half of this year, it's going to be quite good, some of this stuff.
I think the thing is, there must be a role, mustn't there, for people out there who could actually harness the tech and show people how to use it effectively. Because if you think of that Copilot thing, say you go back to my point about market analysis, you probably have to get your statement and your request really, really clear. So there's probably a bit of an art to that. And I wonder if there's going to be training providers and others who are going to appear, or gurus in this space, to really help people, wrap their mind around it. Because I think there's loads of technologies that have been out there for yonks in all sorts of space, whether it's manufacturing technology or computing technology. People just don't use it.
Hey, you know what? Procurement type people are good at designing specifications and RFPs to get from the market what they want. So this might be a new skill for the whole of procurement.
And us. We could set up a new business, Rich.
We could.
Or maybe not. I'd rather just go to Vegas and spend money.
Put it all on red.
Anyway, it's all very interesting, isn't it? And I think when we're out in ProcureCon West Indirect, we'll get a view, I think, from people. And maybe,
Yeah.
maybe I think what you'll find, listeners, is me and Rich are going to push back a bit and take the mickey a little bit and see if we can get people to really back up why they think this stuff's going to be adopted.
I want to see it. I want to see it in action. Boom.
Yeah, if we meet Tonkian and Zip, I think we've got a great opportunity to do that, really get under the covers of the product. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about the jet lag, though.
Oh, I am. I love a bit of jet lag.
Oh, I love the smell of jet lag in the morning.
Cool. Well, is that it for episode 24, Ed? Lots of exciting things happening in the world of procurement, and in the world of Procurement Says No. Just watch this space. And if you want a t-shirt, get in touch.
Yeah, do.
That's it for us. We'll see you again next week, live at ProcureCon. Boom.
Well, hey, boom.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. In fact, did I tell you there are a container of t-shirts? And they are cotton t-shirts, not made in China.
Where are the actual t-shirts made?
Morocco.
Morocco. Okay, that's all right.
I might have made that up. I know they're recognised by eBay as a quality t-shirt, but it didn't say on there anywhere where they were made.
Shh.